Hello again, everybody. This is MSKain. I'm doing some more Final Fantasy 3 now. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than last time. I'm going to be doing another sort of, kind of, not really a speed run. This time, though, I'm using a totally different feature of my emulator here. Instead of using cheat codes and stuff to give myself super ultimate equipment, I'm going to be doing it legitimately for a little while, except that I'm going to be using the function to go through that, and I'm going to be using the super awesome super speed to skip my way through cutscenes and stuff. And I'm going to be using this trick for something very particular once there's going to be a particular use for it you'll see down the line. So this is going to be kind of standard speedrunning stuff you'll see instead of my usual that I did previously, killing people and then just going through a Terra. I need Wedge and Vix to survive. It isn't worth it to get the fight there, so I'm going to skip it by going to the side. I have to get this pincer, so I have to carefully do things so we can run away. In Final Fantasy 3, characters can run away individually instead of as a group, but their bar has to be full. And it can't be while anybody is doing action. And before a guy has a chance to run away, if his thing is full, then they're going to this is slightly slow here, but pretty swag, I think, all the same. You have to eliminate one side in order to run away from a pincer attack. You also have to eliminate the Lobos, because they have a boss flag on them, of course. So running away, only the people who are left in the fight will actually get to get the experience. So that way I'm making sure that Terra gets all the experience. There we go. You build up a little bit of invisible gauge of dreadiness and stuff I talked a little bit about last time if you watched my previous speedrun. If not, you need to watch other speedruns to know what this is about. You can fast forward, you can skip short and long cutscenes. Wow. Yeah, I seem to have the same random seed no matter what, it almost seems. I really need to get Terra up to level 6 so that I can survive the fights going up ahead, because there's a few things I'm going to do differently. First thing I'm going to do is do a safety save. It's not really a safety save, actually. It's a important step. It's a placement save. Darn, didn't get it. If you're lucky and use things right, you can get a quick kill before he goes into the shell by setting off the Megavolt, but I didn't quite do it right. think you have to try and time it after Terra gets her second missile off, so she has to have enough thing to get it, but it's worth trying. Using fast forward, a lot of these things get skipped pretty easily, and you'll see that in the future here. So, yeah, I can't really talk about what I'm doing though, because it's gonna have to wait until down the line when it's available, because I don't want to spoil the surprise. So I did talk about it a little bit in the last speedrun I did as well. Oh jeez, why couldn't you run away? Sometimes they just don't get enough bar. Fire isn't slow enough sometimes to get it all. She's only 81, about 2 battles in the line away. Because I'm, right now I don't really care about name changing, so I'm not going to do anything with the names. So we'll call her Terra. When you're going in a straight line, you can also use super speed as kind of mini sprint shoes. You got to be very careful with it though. There's a bit of a skill to using a fast forward option. It is, you know, it's the biggest skill in this part of the game. But ouch, crit. It's not good. Good thing these things are super weak. Okay, one more fight should do it. Which I should get naturally, because you get a lot of encounters in here. Yay, preemptive. So anyway, I guess one thing I can talk about while I'm going through all of this nonsense is a little bit about glitches and cheating and how they're related and stuff, because possibly some people aren't super familiar with speedruns, might wonder how on earth my Game Genie code, cheat code using hacked game is different cheating than, say, a glitched run that I talk about a whole lot. You know, and they use glitches like Joker Doom and skips and even, you know, sketch glitch to completely break the game open. How is that different from cheating? Well, cheating is kind of all depends on rules set by a community or whatever. Video game cheating is, you know, really hard to define. Doing it in the way the programmers did intend the game to be played, perhaps, but I mean, how is it different than setting house rules? Some of it, how is it different than setting house rules in like a board game or something, you know, just whatever. When you're playing games, as long as everybody's having fun, it's good. If you're playing competitively and you're using cheats, you know, things, advantages that other people don't have or can't use or won't use because it's against rules, you know, in order to gain advantage and beat somebody else, that's cheating, and that's obviously wrong. And that's kind of how speedrunning looks at it, especially in the community and everything. They decide house rules and all that, and you could say that these glitches that are in the game naturally are part of the house rules of stuff that's allowed. So, you know, because anybody who has the cartridge can generally use that has the right cartridge, at least the right version of the game, can use the right glitches to do that, and so it's just house rules of what kind of run you're doing. Puexel likes to actually do glitchless runs. He's one of the few who does, so you'll see him do it that way. So he doesn't use it, but most of the community who speeds runs Final Fantasy III here in the US, they use, at bare minimum, Joker Doom glitches, so you're going to see those used, and that's part of the rules that they do. But all the people who like compete and try to put up times on oh, that was wrong. On Speed Demos Archive, they will they follow those rules, but emulators are absolutely not allowed in that, and that's the house rules they've established. So no matter what I do with my games, I won't be, you know, as long as I'm using this emulator, I'm not going to be able to put up my times on Speed Demo's archive, which is fine, you know, I just do these for fun. So yes, I'm cheating, but as long as I'm not doing the whatever with it, you know, who cares? So that's kind of that, and the glitches is an interesting thing too. That's a question that comes up a lot with Poexel when he's speedrunning. He has it on his FAQ on Twitch, for instance. He's actually asks if, you know, people ask him if you're doing glitchless, why are you running from Shiva and Ifrit, which you've also seen me use if you watched my speedrun previously. And it's because that's allowed according to the rules that are set by the community, you know, that does that. He mostly gets his rules from the from the Japanese speedrunning community, and they've decided that that doesn't count as a actual glitch. It's just things that it's too minor to be considered. But other things that might not be considered a glitch are, like for instance, Joker Doom. Although it's considered a glitch and is forbidden in glitchless runs, it's actually not really a glitch if you understand how it works, because it's, as I've explained before, random number generation used by computers is not real. It's pseudo-random. You know, they have computers can't really do anything random. Instead, they have to be programmed to select certain points based on something else in the programming to select a random number, to roll a die, or, you know, whatever they're simulated doing, which is kind of how RPGs work, since they're based in their origins on, like, the original D&D, which used dice to randomly determine outcomes of events and things, and even further than that, to war games and stuff earlier often used dice in the same way, Risk and the like. So they come up with various ways of doing it, and if you have if you do the knowledge to look through it all, like figuring out random seeds and stuff, that's how they determine random encounters and such things, is by having 256 seeds set, and once you're on a specific seed, you can actually predict all the encounters and such things. But that really doesn't matter to most people who play the game casually, because with 256 random variations, it's not going to look it's going to look pretty random, all right, because you aren't likely to be able to hit the same thing at the same time perfectly. And so they have all these different programs, and slots actually works in a very weird fashion. There are certain times that it allows certain slots to combinations to work, and so it helps you get those. And easy ones, ones that aren't as powerful, it does easily. It often has those enabled, like Chocobo and Seven Flush. But some of the more difficult ones, it does want you to get them, but not all the time. So it's random, quote unquote, which ones are available at a specific moment. And pretty much every battle starts with the same seed, where Seven Flush and Chocobo are good, but others aren't. But in order to randomly change the outcome of slots, they chose a very interesting trigger to change that RNG, and its various kinds of spell effects in the game. So as you're going through a game, you know, they figured that randomly being able to... I got the perfect stare too. This might be a good day. You know, using certain spell effects causes that RNG to change, and so people who are working on it found that they could exploit that by just using in most battles, pretty much just by using a echo screen. Joker Doom is turned on, so it's enabled, and then all they have to do is get the first 7, and the game, as long as they do it slightly right, will hand them the other 2 7s to easily win. So it's not really a glitch, but it is definitely an exploit, which is a different matter, and possibly the bigger question of what is and isn't allowed in some of these games. I went behind there again. Over too far. Slip. Still making those kinds of slips on occasion. And so that exploit isn't allowed in glitchless runs. because it's very game-breaking. I mean, you are instantly killing bosses, you're skipping them, so it makes sense that they'd want to not allow it in a glitchless run. The other ones are too minorly inconsequential, like running from Shiva and Ifrit, and one that you see in some 100% runs where you insta-kill these Rexol's spirits with repeated use of Raiden Blade or something, the Raiden summon, in certain ways. So anyway, that's just something interesting that I've been thinking about with all these things I've been watching and stuff, and actually on his last Final Fantasy VI run that he posted on, he streamed on Twitch and then posted on YouTube, Wexel made a brief mention of that, you know, and it's not a big deal, but I was kind of interested in it because I was thinking along the same lines, and then he said that as far as he was concerned, similarly, he didn't believe that the sketch glitch was a jeez, they're really gonna have to Terra. Good thing these are easy to kill. Pop. He didn't believe that Jokerdom was actually a glitch, but yes, it does make sense to ban it in glitchless because of how it easily And so, but this is the exploit I'm using, which is getting through this on a real speed run, just by having super speed. Game time wise, this wouldn't save time because since my reactions are not at 1,000 times speed, I can't react perfectly in time, and nor can I mash at super speed. I'm actually losing seconds of game time every second because I'm not reacting fast enough to the super speed. But real-time wise, of course, I'm getting through this much quicker. So that's fun. Of course, once again, I'm not doing this competitively, but I'm going to show something else. Obviously, of course, this can let you finish the game quickly. I've got a video coming up where I'm going to show a little bit of what happens with what you can do in other games by being able to super speed. But in this one, there's a particularly good use for it. My last run I skipped coming here because I didn't need sprint shoes, but now I need sprint shoes. Normally you're supposed to do a relic tutorial by talking to that guy because he's standing in front of the shop, but luckily you can talk to him on the side, skip the tutorial, and just buy your sprint shoes. I already had sprint shoes before, so I didn't need them. So I just bypassed South Figaro. It was quicker than coming in and even buying a chocobo to get there instantly. But now, since I'm doing this semi-legitimately, I just want to get to Mount Colts with minimal fuss. Mount Colts is semi-dangerous for me at this point, but I'm not doing any safety saving because I need to save my save where it's at for reasons that will become obvious in the future. Now, actually, I need to move everybody to the back. Semi-expensive, but I want to keep everybody topped off. I should be high enough level to defeat Vargas easily enough. And I should have enough tonics to top everybody off. Normally you'd fight a few battles, first of all back in the cave to get up to 4,500 gold pieces so that you could buy 3 pairs of sprint shoes at one instant. But, and then you'd want to fight some here to gain a little bit of levels too, but in order for the future. But I actually don't care about the future very much, I just care about the now, which is Vargas. As long as I can get past him, my run will be set. So, you know, not really caring. How are my hit points going? Possibly because of the same thing I was talking about with reactions. I don't, because I'm using this to red away and minimize. Either one? Okay. I might get hit a few more times. Haha. Since I'm getting towards the end here and I don't have a perfect amount of potions, I have just enough for everybody if they survive, so I'm going to be slightly careful. Oh yay. Anyway, I did kind of actually talk a little bit about what I'm doing in my previous speedrun, but only briefly mentioned, really, so this might be somewhat surprising to some people. And that's the point of it. I'm showing off some things that can be done that aren't super well known. They're kind of known in the community, but not by people. Wow, I am getting so lucky with the side and preemptives. This is good. Legitimate speedrunner would be loving this, heading towards a personal best. Okay. Now let's hope I don't get in a fight right before. Okay. There's another potion if I need it. I should have just fired one. I always forget that. So I'm gonna wait a bit before coming back to the floor. There, okay. Eel cut is bad. I should have equipped lock possibly. Speed through the fight slightly, because I want to get through it. There we go. Okay, good. I survived. Now, I definitely don't want to speed through this. I want to do it properly. Which I didn't, of course. Somehow I messed up. I have no idea how. But I always seem to a lot with this particular controller. There we go. Skipping cutscene again with super speed. Hooray for skipping cutscenes. You can save off so much time doing that too. I mean, seriously, you have no idea. Tent, so safety. Now that I have this party, I can run away pretty easily because it's really hard for them to kill Savin in addition before I get to where I'm going. And I kind of don't care if they do. Although I need to make sure that Terra at least is up. Actually, I'm going to go ahead. It doesn't take any time to use the tail when you do it that way. Normally it's safety save there, but if my run ends here, then that's just too bad. Yep, didn't run. I thought I equipped the sprint shoes on Terra. This will slightly slow me down. Must have equipped them on Edgar instead. That's gonna make me slow. I could buy a new pair, and maybe I will. It'll actually save a bit of time. Haha. Yep, I have enough. Okay, now we have to talk to everybody. I did talk to everybody now. I'm not collecting items right now because I don't need them. saying no 3 times because it's still quicker to skip this cutscene. I don't need the Genji Globe either, but... still faster to skip this cutscene. Da 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 da! Speeding through, and we're just about on the river. Okay, we're gonna put Bannon in the back. Tara's still back, Sabin's up front, that's fine. We're gonna kill Sabin off early to make this go smoothly. And once I get through this first battle, there we go. Okay. Okay, now, using super speed, I can just zoom around. Alrighty, so we are now at the point where this is happening. So, as you can see, we're just going around in a circle, or maybe not. Maybe I should turn off super speed for a second so I can explain what's happening. Tara gained another level, yay! So, on this rafting trip, when you reach the second branch, you can choose directions. If you choose up, you go in a loop. And you have a chance for a couple of things, and so if you if you hold the A button, nothing happens, but if you turbo the A button and press it continuously, it will constantly select up for you, as well as selecting all of your combat actions. So if you're playing with the turbo controller and hold down the button, if you find a way to hold down the button and go on this rafting trip, because of Bannon's powerful health ability to heal up the party, regardless of without any mana or anything else, you can keep the party going for a good long time. And in fact, forever. So you can constantly just sit here and grind levels and grind levels and grind levels. Now, in a normal game, these things are pretty early in the game. They don't give a lot of experience, so normally it would take you roughly 3 days to, get up into the 80s plus level. But because of the fact that I have this on a emulator with a super speed function, I actually can get through a whole lot quicker. We've already gone through minutes and minutes and minutes and minutes and minutes and minutes and minutes of time, but in real time, it would probably take me about an hour and a half to reach level 60-ish, and probably only another hour and a half or so after that in order to reach a higher level, say, level 80 or 90. So, I could technically speedrun this game as a long time. And there's a second part to this trick to make it interesting as well, which is the reason why I killed Sabin for more experience, since he basically does nothing, and Tara's the one I really want to get the experience at this point. Unfortunately, I cannot kill off Bannon, both because I need his healing and because if he dies, it's game over. And I can't kill off Edgar, really, because then I can't kill things fast enough. His auto-crossbow is the one thing that does it. Even if I put Tara in the front row, and even if I give her a stronger weapon like sword that Edgar's got, she won't be able to kill things fast enough to really justify, that 50% bonus to experience she'd get for killing things 50% faster with him doing all the work. So, in the end, it's worth it just to do it this way. But so I'm going to go ahead and end the game just about here. End this video, I mean. This is part 1, and then part 2 is going to pick up when I finish my grinding and I show you how the second half works, and we start to speedrun for a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to fully speedrun this game after that, but it will be a demonstration of just, you know, I'll demonstrate for a little bit. You've already seen how fast it goes when I skip cutscenes as well, so, but it'll, we'll kind of play together a little while and see just how quickly I can get through most of the game using the super speed through cutscenes and by using the super high level characters. So as you can see, I'm just in the short time I've been babbling about this, I'm already up to over 600 hit points, which is the maximum hit points you'd have in quite a few speedrun games. So this can be pretty huge if you want to more or less, you know, don't want to say do competitive times, because as I was saying earlier about cheating, you know, this is big time cheating. This is in no way allows you to really compete with real speedrunners, but if you wanted to try and do a game quickly and you have an emulator and want to try something like this is a trick you can do to get it to the point where you have all the levels you want, to try all the speedrunning techniques you want, so that you can sit in battle and do, you know, try out Joker Doom until you actually get it, kind of thing. In fact, if you watched my first Joker Doom video highlight I posted, it was I was running this same sort of thing right here and checking it out a little bit and testing it, and that's where I got to about level 60. As I say, I got through it in about, it took me about an hour and a half more of grinding, even though it said I was playing for 30 hours, nearly all of that was just super speeded on this on these falls. But again, I won't reveal the second part until later, so I'm ending it right here. So continue on to part 2 to see what happens when I'm done grinding.